Imagine that for centuries we've used prayer like a supplication, repeating words to the sky, hoping something out there responds. But what if we've had it all backwards? What if true prayer isn't a plea but a declaration? Before starting this video, remember to subscribe and give it a like. Long before temples existed, long before prayer became ritual, it was vibration. It was power. The ancients didn't ask, they activated. In the mystery schools of Egypt, India, and Greece, they taught that the universe was created by sound. Literally, not metaphorically. The word as an invisible architecture structuring the visible. And once you grasped that, you stopped talking and began creating. Interestingly, that wisdom wasn't lost. It was only silenced. It still pulses in phrases like, "In the beginning was the Word," and in teachings that remind us that what's spoken with certainty becomes. Not through magic, but because it obeys a law. Everything vibrates. And wherever there's vibration, creation follows. But here's the twist. It's not enough to speak beautifully. It's not enough to repeat affirmations in front of a mirror if inside you tremble with doubt. That's why some prayers go unanswered, not because the universe doesn't listen, but because it can't make sense of contradictions. For a prayer to hold real power, three forces must align: thought, emotion, and word. Three pillars that, when they vibrate in unison, open doorways where there were only walls. Consider this: thought is the seed. But not just any thought. It must be clear, focused, free of interference. It's not daydreaming, it's imagining with fertile intention. Next comes emotion, the water that nourishes the seed. If you don't feel what you think, the vision withers and fails to sprout. You can't simply want love, you have to feel it already living within you. Finally, the word, the declaration voiced out loud. Not as a question, not as a wish, but as a certainty. Saying, "Thank you because it already is," holds more power than 1,000 desperate prayers. When these three forces align, something activates. Like a flawless melody the universe recognizes and cannot ignore. Because you're not responding from lack, you're responding from fulfillment. From the place of, "It's already done." So when you pray, don't stop at the words. Ask yourself, from where am I speaking? From the character who begs? Or from the being who declares? True prayer doesn't seek to persuade God. It seeks to persuade you that you have always been part of the creative word. And when you think clearly, feel coherently, and speak from your soul, reality bends to listen. It can do nothing else. Because that's the law. What vibrates in unity manifests without exception. There's a trap we fall into unconsciously: praying from lack. We ask as if we're separate, as if we need something external to complete us. But the truth is more radical. Everything you desire already exists. You don't need to attract it, you need to become the one who already lives it. Prayer isn't a bridge to the goal, it's the language of one who has already arrived. When you pray from want, you emit a frequency of "I don't have, I'm not, it isn't here yet." And that vibration sustains your reality. The universe doesn't give you what you ask for, it gives you what you vibrate. That's why in metaphysical prayer you don't pray to obtain, you pray to remember. To anchor your consciousness in the fulfilled end. How and when become irrelevant once you position yourself in the "it already is." You stop playing the waiting game and start living as though you've already received. This is the great paradox. You cannot manifest the new from your old identity. One who sees themselves as a victim cannot vibrate as a creator. One who expects miracles cannot witness them, until they become the channel through which they manifest. And that's when everything changes. You no longer pray to see, you pray because you already see. You no longer ask for health, you embody health. You no longer beg for love, you vibrate as though you already love and are loved. Every word you speak isn't a wish, it's a proclamation of your new identity. You become the one who already inhabits the desired reality. And that moves worlds. But there's something even deeper. Prayer doesn't only occur when you close your eyes and speak to the universe. True prayer is your life. It's how you walk, how you breathe, how you think in the silences. Every gesture, every decision, is an embodied affirmation. To live as prayer means that everything in you declares what is. Your home resonates with the order of abundance you claim. Your words don't contradict your intention. You stop affirming what you don't want to grow. Because it's not enough to say, "I want peace," if you sow chaos. It's not enough to declare, "I am abundant," if you act like someone in constant lack. Coherence isn't in what you say, it's in what you embody. And so, your very presence becomes a declaration. You no longer need to convince or persuade, the energy you radiate speaks on your behalf. People feel it before you speak. Life responds to the frequency of what you are, not what you pretend to be. This is the sacred architecture of alignment. Not perfection but congruence. Not performance but presence. When your being, thought, and action fall into rhythm, prayer ceases to be something you do, it becomes the space you inhabit. It is the rhythm of your breath as you wait in trust. It is the integrity of your choices when no one watches. It is the kindness in your gaze even toward what once wounded you. To live as prayer is to remember, moment by moment, that reality is not imposed upon you, it flows through you. Quieres que lo integrimos en un guion ceremonial o lo dividimos en fragmentos meditativos? Puedo ayudar a convertir esto en una experiencia grabada, sonora o escénica sit llama la idea. The universe is a mirror that doesn't register words but frequencies. That's why when you truly live as if your prayer has already been fulfilled, when every part of you reflects that certainty, there's nothing left to attract. You simply allow the inevitable to unfold. Because that is the law. The one who already is manifests. The one who vibrates in fulfillment witnesses the fulfillment of their vibration. And then prayer ceases to be an act, and becomes your natural state of being. There comes a moment when the word stops being a mere sound, and becomes law. Not because someone promised it, but because the vibration supporting it is so coherent, so absolute, that the entire universe recognizes it as real. Most people repeat phrases, chant affirmations, speak declarations, but do so from a field vibrating fear, urgency, or doubt. In that frequency there is no creation, only noise. It's not about how many times you say it, it's about from where you say it. Metaphysical prayer is not refined superstition. It's an inner technology. A spiritual science that activates the hidden codes of the quantum field. When thought is clear, emotion is sincere, and word resonates from the depths, a unique frequency is born. A vibration so aligned that the universe cannot ignore it. Not because it's judging you, but because you already vibrate as creator. Jesus explained this beautifully: if two agree, whatever they ask will be done. He wasn't speaking of people. He was speaking of inner agreements. When your mind, your emotion, and your words say the same thing, a harmony arises. A vibrational symphony that opens paths where before there were only walls. The secret lies not in repetition but in embodiment. Because when you pray as one who has already received, the word doesn't launch a desire, it signs a decree. In that instant, prayer ceases to be a single act, and becomes a universal movement. The field shifts. The pieces fall into place. Not because you force them, but because everything responds to the new state you've chosen to inhabit. This is the great truth. The word is not magic, it is law. An ancient law, forgotten for centuries, yet alive in every particle of reality. You don't have to convince the universe of anything. You only need to remember who you are. And when you do, when you know it, feel it, and declare it, there is no other option. Everything fulfills. Because it was already fulfilled within you. And the world simply obeys. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. See you in the next video.